Well, we're just waiting for a couple more minutes before everybody gets into the uh, podcast room. Tonight, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So if you've been here before, well, we're glad that you're with us. I'm Dr. Krystosik. And this podcast actually is rebroadcasted every Friday. So if you missed on Thursday evening, you can catch us on Friday. It starts at 6 a.m. So if you're an early riser, you can get it on YouTube. You can get it on all the social media, Shopify. Not Shopify, but the YouTube, Spotify. You can get it on um, all the other podcast platforms that are really available, iHeartRadio. So if you miss it on Thursday, don't forget. And tell your family and friends about us, because especially on the YouTube channel, because I spend a lot of time doing a lot of research, trying to get you the best information on drug-free natural medicine, evidence-based natural medicine. So I would really appreciate it if you would help me out by liking the YouTube videos, liking the podcast, especially liking the YouTube videos. It really helps that algorithm out to get more people to watch so we can get this message out to more people, because I'm really passionate about helping people become independently healthy. And I hope that's what you want, because we have so many sick Americans here today. And it's really sad to see the situation that we're in. And again, tonight we're going to be doing something a little bit different. If you've never listened to the podcast before, well, then this might not be new to you. But for those individuals who've been part of our podcast, been part of our community, and followed us on social media, well, you're going to find out tonight that this is just a little bit different. I'm going to be getting into tonight how the questions people ask on the internet, the most oftenly asked questions on the internet. I'm going to be diving into that. So if you have any questions that you would like in the future for me to address, whether on YouTube, videos, or on a podcast, please send me a message on YouTube, make a comment about the videos that you watch, and follow us on all the social media. But most importantly, on YouTube, really help us out with that, because we really are trying our best to get you the best information so that you and your family can become independently healthy. Well, let's get really and dive into this podcast tonight. So if you've ever felt like conventional medicine only scratches the surface of your health concerns, you're not alone. You've come to the right place. Tonight, we're going to dive deep into the natural solutions your doctor might not tell you about. In fact, most often they don't, because they simply weren't trained to. They just learned about drugs and surgery in medical school. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered if there's a drug-free side effect way? Drug-free, no side effect way, no side effects to lower blood pressure, to protect your heart from deadly heart attacks and strokes, or to help a tired, overworked liver. Many people are toxic livers. You want to be able to bounce back. Well, you're not alone. These are some of the most commonly asked questions I get every single week from people on YouTube. And so I would like tonight to answer those questions for you, to empower you with the most commonly asked questions so you can take back your health without medications, drug-free. Now, first up, we're going to look at the best way to naturally detoxify, repair, and restore your liver, whether it's been exposed to environmental toxins, over-the-counter meds, processed foods, or alcohol. Your liver is the gatekeeper of your health. And I'm going to show you how nature has a pharmacy to help to regenerate this vital organ without prescriptions. And this is not some simple, quick fix cleanse. This is a really scientific way, a drug-free way to regenerate your liver. I'm going to reveal that to you tonight. And I'm also going to show you how to lower blood pressure without relying on medications. And the truth is, you don't have a deficiency of blood pressure medication, my friend. If you haven't figured that out, you likely have an overload of dietary and lifestyle triggers that put your numbers up skyrocketing. And we'll talk about how to reverse that naturally. by restoring the balance in your body. That's what it's, God's designed our body to maintain balance if we just follow the natural principles. So lastly, don't miss our segment tonight on chia seeds. The tiny little seeds everyone's talking about. Many times people are using it incorrectly and they can cause digestive distress, even blockages in their colon. So you got to use them wisely. It's a powerful tool to help to nourish your gut, balance your blood sugar, fight inflammation. And if it's used wisely, you can get that benefit. But if you don't, you're going to have a problem. So my goal for you tonight is not to overwhelm you. It's to equip you, because when you understand how the body works, it really does help to heal itself. You don't want to just manage disease. You want to unlock the healing power that God has put inside of our bodies. If you follow these principles, you're going to be able to do that. So grab a notebook or just sit back and listen, and let's discover what the other side of medicine is all about. How healing comes from the inside out, not from a pill bottle, but from the inside out of your body. That's probably the most important principle that I teach people. Your body is a self-healing organism. Take advantage of that. So if your doctor has told you have to be on blood pressure medication for the rest of your life, please listen carefully, listen closely. That's not the whole truth. Now, sometimes people will need blood pressure medication, maybe sometimes for a short time. And blood pressure is a problem. It's a silent killer. It's a serious condition. But here's what your doctor may never tell you. In most cases, you can reverse blood pressure naturally without drugs. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that today. So let's break it down into 3 of the most powerful tools to help to be able to do that. You see, the right foods, that's the best medicine. Food's your best medicine. Don't forget that. Now, I'm going to be talking about the Mediterranean diet. That's nature's prescription to lower blood pressure and just have a long, healthy life. And there are 3 natural research-backed remedies that you can start using ASAP to help to lower your blood pressure. Now, remember, as I said, food is your blood pressure's best medicine. Don't forget that. No quick fixes. It's a lifestyle, and food is part of that lifestyle. So let's start with the obvious. It's often ignored. The truth is, you are what you eat. In most cases, high blood pressure, it's not genetic, what people are told. It's dietary. It's not about the salt shaker either. It's about what's happening along with the salt. Processed foods, refined sugars, hydrogenated oils, and deadly sodas and sugar and stress. So what foods help to lower blood pressure? Well, here's what my blood pressure lowering plate looks like. Plant-based diet, leafy greens, spinach, kale, arugula. They're loaded with potassium, magnesium, which relaxes the blood vessels. And then, of course, beets, which I've talked about many times, has nitric oxide boosters in it. They relax your blood vessels. They're vasodilator. Now, back in 2015, there was a study in the Hypertension Journal that found that beetroot juice significantly lowered systolic blood pressure in people with hypertension within just 24 hours. How quick is that? Now, berries, especially blueberries, they're packed with what's called anthocyanins. Now, that's a powerful plant compound that protects protects the arteries and helps to improve circulation. Blueberries are a carb from heaven. They're sweet, they're delicious, and they heal the body. And then, of course, legumes, lentils, and chickpeas, and black beans. They contain fiber, potassium, and plant proteins that help to stabilize your blood sugar and your blood pressure. And then, of course, garlic, one of my favorites. It's not just a kitchen staple. Garlic is a natural ACE inhibitor. And just like some blood pressure medications, it works like that. It reduces blood vessel constriction. And don't forget about drinking enough water. I often say you're not sick, you're not just getting enough water. Drink half of your weight in ounces of filtered, best is the water that's filtered. And reverse osmosis is mine. So your arteries are not dependent upon drugs. They're dependent upon foods. The Mediterranean diet, the number 1 diet for heart disease, has been proven in science. And I want you to jump on the diet bandwagons that's out there today. There's over 5,000 peer-reviewed studies that show that the eating pattern from the Mediterranean diet is the healthiest. So really, please pay attention. All this stuff about low-carb diets and keto diets, it's nonsense. You may get a short-term benefit, but long-term hazard. The American diet is dangerous. Mediterranean diet is loaded with fresh vegetables and fruits and whole grains and quinoa and barley and brown rice, olive oil, that's the main fat, nuts and seeds and legumes, and fresh fish a couple times a week, and maybe some meat, maybe 1 or 2 times a week, and then fermented foods like yogurt from sheep and goats. And then, of course, if you want a little bit of red wine, it's really good. Now, a landmark study back in 2018 in the New England Journal of Medicine, they had over 7,000 people that had a high risk for heart disease. They went on the Mediterranean diet, and 30% of them had fewer heart attacks, strokes, and cardiovascular deaths. And guess what else dropped during that time? Their blood pressure. You see, the Mediterranean diet is an anti-inflammatory diet. It's rich in plant-based foods, and it feeds the lining of your blood vessels. It's called the endothelium. It feeds it with compounds like nitric oxide and polyphenols. And again, nitric oxide dilates the blood vessels, relaxes them. Now, in my clinic, I give people an anti-inflammatory diet that's based on not just theory, it's based on clinical experience that I have with people lowering their blood pressure with the Mediterranean diet. Now, there are 3 natural remedies that you can use that are backed up by human research studies. And let's talk about these 3 supplements. There's solid human studies behind them. Now, they're not magic. You have to follow a healthy lifestyle, but they really work wonderfully if you follow the entire program. Magnesium, it's a relaxation mineral. And most Americans, obviously, are deficient in magnesium because they're not eating enough plant-based foods. And that's the bad news for your blood pressure. Magnesium relaxes the muscles around your arteries and improves the heart rhythm. Now, back in 2016, there was a medical study called a meta-analysis in the journal called Hypertension, and they found 34 clinical trials of over 2,000 people, and they found that taking 300 to 400 milligrams of magnesium, and I recommend magnesium glycinate, they reduce systolic and diastolic blood pressure significantly. Now, also in 2016 in the Journal of Hypertension, they found, again, magnesium glycinate, 300 to 400 milligrams per day, along with plant-based foods, they found it lowered blood pressure significantly. Now, number 2, aged garlic, my favorite. You know, it's nature's blood pressure pill. Garlic isn't just for flavor, it's for function. An aged garlic extract has been shown in multiple studies to work just as well as prescription medications for mild to moderate hypertension. That's pretty profound. Now, in 2013, the Journal of Integrated Blood Pressure Control published a human trial study giving people 240 milligrams a day of aged garlic, and it lowered the systolic blood pressure by 10 milligrams of mercury in just 12 weeks. And then in Integrated Blood Pressure Control magazine in 2013, they also found that it dropped your risk for heart disease and heart attacks and strokes by up to 30%. Again, get standardized aged garlic. But my favorite brand is Kyolic. 600 to 1,200 milligrams per day, divided doses throughout the day. Now, hibiscus tea is one of my favorites. It's an herbal antihypertensive. It's lowering blood pressure. And if you want to drink your medicine, drink hibiscus tea. It's a delicious place to start. Now, in 2008, there was a study published in the Journal of Nutrition. They followed 65 adults that had hypertension and prehypertension and mild hypertension, and those drinking just 3 cups of hibiscus tea daily for 6 weeks had a 7-point drop in systolic blood pressure. It's similar to drugs without any side effects. And then in the Journal of Nutrition back in February of 2008, hibiscus they found is rich in anthocyanidins and polyphenols that relax those blood vessels and reduce inflammation. Now, you can drink it chilled with a squeeze of lemon in it and a pinch of cinnamon for added benefit to help to lower your blood sugar. So hibiscus increases nitric oxide, which helps to relax the blood vessels again and lower blood pressure. So here's the final thoughts. You're not deficient in medication. Let's be honest. You don't have a deficiency in a drug for lowering blood pressure. You have a deficiency in the right foods, the right habits, the right information your doctor's not telling you. See, conventional medicine throws pills at every problem, but you got to get to the cause. You got to focus on healing diet, like the Mediterranean diet. Rely on plant-based nutrients. Use herbs. Food is the best medicine, my friend. Supplements that help, like herbs, help the vascular system. They treat the root cause, not just the symptoms. Now, does this mean you throw away the medication today? No. Work with your doctor. Get him to listen to my podcast, because it's all based on evidence. But make sure that your mission is to reverse the disease, not just to manage it. Again, ask your doctor to watch my podcast. And again, now here's a 3-step plan. Number 1, Mediterranean diet. 80% of plant-based foods with clean proteins. You could eat some fish and use olive oil. 2 to 3 cups of hibiscus tea daily. Consider aged garlic extract every single day, as I mentioned. Supplement with magnesium. And then, of course, monitor your blood pressure. So your heart is worth the action that you could take about doing these things. Your blood vessels are miracles, and they're a miracle and designed by God. When you feed them right, move your body and manage your stress, and stop digging your grave with your teeth and your fork, healing starts to happen. I've seen it in thousands of my patients. I've lived it myself, and you can too. So again, encourage your doctor to watch my podcast, and you should, again, listen to my daily social media podcasts and the posts that I make every single day. Okay, let's talk about your liver. It's a defense against chemical assault we face every day, from processed foods, prescription drugs, environmental toxins, and even stress from emotions. But what happens when your liver gets overloaded with toxins? That's where the little humble herb called milk thistle steps in. It's a real, truly carb from heaven. That's what I call it, a carb from heaven. So what is milk thistle? Well, milk thistle is also known by a botanical name, and you might have heard it, called psyllium. Psyllium. It's been used for over 2,000 years to support liver function. The active compound in it is called silymarin, and it's got a group of bioflavonoids that regenerate liver cells, lower inflammation, and reverse, yes, I'm going to say it, reverse liver damage. But don't just take my word for it. Let's look at some of the science. First study, it was in the liver protection journals. And back in 1989, there was a double-blind study controlled trial, which was published in the Journal of Hepatology, that's liver, where researchers found, and they followed 170 patients with alcohol-induced liver cirrhosis. They gave one group 140 milligrams of milk thistle 3 times a day. And after about 41 months, the group taking the milk thistle had a 58% lower rate of mortality. That's profound. And then in 1989, in the Journal of Hepatology again, they had a mouse study, and that's, again, where they found that it's same benefits. Now, the second study, reduction in liver enzymes in non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. In 2010, researchers published a clinical trial in the Phytomedicine. This is a journal, this time focusing on non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is rampant in America today. 65% of Americans has it. Now, they took 97 patients, and they found that milk thistle, the active ingredient silymarin, they found it significantly reduced blood markers, ALT and AST. In 8 weeks, liver inflammation went down, insulin resistance improved, no side effects were reported. Now, back in 2010, that was that journal, the Phytomedicine. Friends, your liver is a metabolic engine. You can burn fat efficiently or detox properly. When it's inflamed, you cannot do that. So reduce inflammation. Now, study number 3, an anti-inflammatory action in type 2 diabetes. Here's another important one. This study was found in the Journal of Advances in Therapy, found that milk thistle's effect on inflammation in type 2 diabetes with poor liver health, was dramatic. After 12 weeks, participants taking just 200 milligrams of silymarin had a significantly reduced markers of inflammation, systemic inflammation, including C-reactive protein and TNF-alpha, 2 major drivers of chronic disease found in blood tests that your doctor uses every day. They were dramatically reduced. So not only does milk thistle support detoxification, it really calms the inflammatory fires that fuel diabetes, heart disease, and of course, accelerated aging. And who wants that? So how does it work? Well, let's break it down in a simple, plain English for you, okay? Now, the active compound called silymarin acts as a cellular shield. It protects your liver cell from damage caused by toxins and oxidative stress. It boosts glutathione levels. That your body already makes glutathione, but it boosts it. That's your body's master antioxidant, protecting your cells. Think of it as soap and sponge for your liver to clean itself. You see, and it stimulates protein synthesis inside of liver cells, meaning it can literally help the liver repair and regenerate itself. That's why I often prescribe milk thistle in my 30-day detox plan, especially for people who've been exposed to medications, alcohol, and environmental toxins, a lot of stress, or just using and eating the standard American diet, which is very, very sad. SAD, standard American diet. So how do you use it? Well, the sweet spot for most adults is around 200 to 400 milligrams of standardized silymarin extract for milk thistle, depending on your condition. I always recommend a high-quality supplement, third-party tested, and free from synthetic additives. Now, I really want you to listen carefully because this is really important, okay? Now, a lot of people will go to a health food store or a supermarket and they'll end up buying milk thistle because they've heard something on YouTube video or they heard it from a natural doctor like myself, and they'll go and they'll buy milk thistle and they think all milk thistle is the same. Well, let me share a couple things with you, okay? The quality of the milk thistle is extremely important, and let me tell you why. First of all, let's look at how nature provides us with milk thistle, because that's where we have found milk thistle in nature. It's been used for over 2,000 years, as I mentioned earlier, as medicine. So cultures around the world use it, and it's found naturally in nature in the wild. Now, listen to this. When birds carry the seeds from the milk thistle, the birds eat the seeds, and they carry some with them on their feet because they were sitting on that plant eating it, and they carry some of those seeds, and they'll fly to different areas and different parts of the community or the area, that environment that they live in. And when they drop those seeds, and sometimes when they drop those seeds, the plant milk thistle will not grow because the environment's not right. Or if it may grow, it may just grow very little. And then sometimes the birds will drop it in another area and the milk thistle will grow rapidly and proliferate. And there's a lot of it in one area. Very important to understand. Now, when you get the milk thistle that is grown by nature in the area that it's the most adapted to and most suited for, so it provides the basic medicinal properties of that plant, when it's grown in those type of soils where the birds left it, you're going to get the best effect as a medicine. You follow what I'm saying? Now, today, because there are so many people using the herb milk thistle, we have farmers with good intention who are growing milk thistle, even if it's organic, on soils that may not be exactly the best soil for that milk thistle to grow in. And so they force feed organic fertilizers and they try to grow it with good intentions. many times with good intentions. But that soil may not be the best soil for extracting from the soil the medicinal properties that it's found in nature when the birds drop it off in those areas that it really proliferates and grows rapidly in. You follow what I'm saying? Now, let me tell you about a safe and very, very reliable company that I've been using for over 40 years. Now, this company is available almost anywhere, especially on the internet, but most health food stores carry it. It's called Herb Farm, PHARM. Now, why is this company so valuable for its herbs? Here's the number one reason. And I have known the gentleman who started the company for over 40 years. I studied with him, with a gentleman who's one of America's best and well-known herbalists, Dr. Krystosik. We studied together over 40 years together at seminar with Dr. Krystosik for 2 weeks. And what Herb Farm has done, Ed from Herb Farm, Ed Smith, what he's done is he's built his company on wild crafted herbs, which means he sends and gets and gathers herbs where nature provides the best soil for them to grow in, where the birds leave the seeds and they proliferate. So you're getting wild crafted herbs and you're getting the most effective medicines like silymarin in the milk thistle. That's most important. So I encourage you to use the Herb Farm herbs or other companies that get wild crafted herbs. Very important. Don't miss that at all. Please, it's so, so important. Again, milk thistle is going to help you dramatically, but you have to understand that you need to get the best quality. I hope that makes sense to you. Again, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, leave it in the comments for this podcast on Facebook or other social media and YouTube, and ask me any questions, and I'll be able to help you. Now, some final thoughts about your liver. It's not just a filter. It's your body's chemical plant. It's your body's fat-burning engine. And it's a detoxification powerhouse. But it can't do its job if you're overloaded every single day with poor nutrition and without the support it needs, without getting rid of that stress. Milk thistle is not just a trend. It's a time-tested and science-backed remedy. If your liver could talk, it might say, thanks for the silymarin. Thanks for the milk thistle. So let's stop digging our graves with our teeth and supporting organs like the liver with something as powerful as the milk thistle. My friend, don't miss out on that. Now, I also wanted to mention to you that the milk thistle, there was a study that I didn't mention, I think is really important. This was a study on rats, but I think it's a really important study for you to understand how powerful it is. I already gave you some really, really good research, but in this study on rats, they gave the rats strychnine. Now, I'm sure you know what strychnine is. It's a rat poison. It will kill them instantly when they give it to the rats. Now, in this study, they fed the rats strychnine. It should have killed them instantly. But as soon as they gave them the strychnine, they injected them with the milk thistle. And guess what? The rats did not die. They thrived. Now, how powerful is that? That, to me, is just an amazing study and an amazing proof how powerful that milk thistle is. So please, please take advantage of milk thistle. Take advantage of all the things I talked about to help your liver. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is chia seeds. It's a superfood, yes. Headlines is everywhere about it. It's powerful, but only if you use it the right way. You got to stop dropping chia seed in smoothies or putting in a bowl with fruits and vegetables. You're not going to get the benefits you think you are. Here's 5 common mistakes people make when they use chia seeds. And I'm going to tell you how to fix those common mistakes. Mistake number 1, you don't put enough water in it. That's right. You should put for half a cup of water for every tablespoon. The most common mistake is that people put a spoonful of chia seeds in a bowl of yogurt without soaking it properly, or maybe in a fruit bowl, and they just put it in a blender right away, and they get constipated. Now, here's the truth. Chia seeds can be soaked 10 to 12 times the amount of their water. They can suck it up. Now, before you eat them, don't let your body steal the water from inside your body. That's what I'm talking about. You've got to get enough water put in when you are going to use those chia seeds. Remember, your body's going to pull water from your gut, and it's going to cause you to have constipation. So please make sure that you get enough water when you're using enough moisture. You're going to damage your gut lining if you don't. It's going to be a recipe for dry intestines, sluggish bowels, and digestive distress, especially if you're over 40. Motility slows down. So take 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, put a half a cup of water, soak it for at least 30 minutes. You can do it overnight, but don't do it more than that. Hydrate the seeds, and you're going to have a happy gut. Okay? Now, number 2. That's the next mistake. Rushing the soaking. Some people think 5 minutes is enough. It's not. It's not enough. Okay, the magic to get chia to form its gel, to get that mucilaginous gel, takes time for it to develop. So rush soaking means dry centers of the seeds. They expand in your stomach. They cause gas and bloating, and they cause a brick, kind of a gut brick sensation. So let the seed do its work outside the body, not inside. Soak the seeds, as I said earlier, for about 30 minutes at room temperature. Overnight in the fridge is good too as well. And don't forget, chia starts to ferment after 48 hours, so do not let it stay in there for more than 24 to 48 hours. Number 3, using the wrong temperature. Hot water does not help, and cold water can slow things down. The sweet spot, it's lukewarm to room temperature. That's when chia's mucilaginous activity is the best, the gel forming. Boiling water damages the seed's delicate gel structure. Adding that cold water leaves the seeds half hydrated, and they're hard in the center again. It's a digestion disaster. So fix it. Stick with water that feels warm to the touch, but not too hot, and let the chia seeds do the work, and they'll really help your body to heal. Now, number 4, mixing chia seeds with the wrong foods. Yep, that's what I said. Too many people bury chia under heavy dairy products and nut butters or oily dressings, and then wonder why they feel sluggish. You see, chia's gel is designed to move gently through your gut. It's supposed to be soothing the gut lining, stabilizing the blood sugar. If you pair it with dense foods like fats and proteins, you're going to disrupt that function. It's going to clump together. It's going to cause the digestion to be slow, and it's going to ferment in your intestines and cause gas. So pair chia seeds with foods like berries and almond milk or water. Chia seed is going to be best when you add maybe like a dash of cinnamon. It's going to be gut friendly if you follow these principles. I'm telling you, it's really important. Now, number 5, storing it too long. You see, after chia seed soaks, they become biologically active. And just like any other fresh food, it can spoil. Yeah, chia seeds can spoil. If you leave it uncovered or keep it too long in the refrigerator, you're going to notice it gets slimy. The smell goes sour, and the benefits, they vanish. You might even trigger bloating and histamine reactions and cause irritable bowel and all kinds of other problems. So store chia seeds in a glass container with a tight lid in the refrigerator up to no more than 48 hours, and always stir it before you use it. Now, here's the final words about chia seed. It's not just a trendy thing to do. It's a functional food. Like any other powerful tool, it only works when it's used correctly. So give it some time, give it some water, and give it some space. And when you do that, it's going to support digestion. It's going to balance blood sugar levels. It's going to hydrate the body naturally, not steal water from the body. It's not magic. It's smart biology. Oh, and one more thing. I want you to say goodbye to illness by following all these principles I'm talking about. So here's your chia checklist. 1 tablespoon of chia seed, 1/2 cup of water. Soak it for at least 25 to 30 minutes. Overnight in the refrigerator is good. Use it within 2 days. Pair it with light foods, fruits, vegetables. Avoid heating it with heavy metal containers. Start small. Use it consistently. Got to honor the design of the body. Follow these principles, my friend, and you are going to get the benefits of chia seeds, which not only are healthy for you, they can taste delicious. One of my favorites is chia seed pudding. If you've never tried it, oh my goodness, it's absolutely delicious. What I do is take about 5 to 6 tablespoons of chia seeds, raw chia seeds. Again, for each tablespoon, I put in 1/2 cup of liquid. Okay? Do that. Soak them overnight. And I like to use coconut milk. Coconut milk is delicious with the chia seeds. Soak it overnight. And when you get up in the morning, it'll swell up. It'll be a gel. You could add, if you want, to that mixture before you put it in the refrigerator. You could put some cinnamon in there. You could put, maybe if you want, a little bit of raw honey or some maple syrup. And you're going to really enjoy it. It's called chia seed pudding. I love it. And again, you could have that for up to 48 hours from the time you put the liquid in there. So my friends, I hope tonight that you learned something. And please go to YouTube, like my videos, tell your friends about them. I spend a lot of time trying to help people to learn about natural medicine, drug-free medicine. It's all based on science. There's 3 principles. Everything that I do here on my podcast and everything I do on my videos, they're based 3 important principles. Common sense. We've lost common sense. So number 1 is common sense. Number 2, evidence-based natural medicine, all backed up by science. Really important. Grandma's remedies were really good. Some of them were a little bizarre and not any science to back them up. If it has science with grandma's remedies, then I'm going to use them. Number 3, cooperation with nature. Please cooperate with nature. Work with your body to heal itself. Your body has an amazing capacity to heal itself. God's placed that power inside the body to heal itself. If you work with it, it's going to be a wonderful life. You're going to have lots of energy. Your mind is going to be clear. You're going to have great cognition, great mental powers, great memory. You're going to have great moods. You're going to have no joint pains or very few joint pains. And you're going to have, again, better digestion. You're not going to end up having to stay on all kinds of drugs. And you can actually work to get off of medications. Work with a natural doctor, whether it's me or somebody else. I'm here to help you. But just find a natural doctor that you have confidence in that uses safe natural medicine backed up by science. So until next week, my friends, I hope that you come every single day to listen to my podcast. I'm once a week, and every day I have social media posts that I do once or twice every single day. And they're only like 4 to 5 minutes, but you're going to gain a lot of evidence-based natural medicine. So until next time, here's to your health. I'm Dr. Krystosik.